Inflation continues to remain high in India. The February figure of 6.44%, a decline from 6.52% in January, was only a marginal relief. An indicator of the impact of inflation was the massive fall in household savings during the first half of FY23. Savings were reported to be 4% of gross domestic product or GDP, which was a decline from 7.3% in FY22. It is worth noting that in the last 14 months, inflation has remained above RBI's upper tolerance level for 12 months. This is further exacerbated by the fact that experts have continued to point out that India is undergoing a K-shaped recovery. Improvement in consumer sentiment has been mixed. While the improvement in urban areas was 15.2%, it was only 7.6% in rural India. So, what do experts have to say about the impact of inflation on this rural-urban divide?
Inflation does have an impact in terms of the lower income groups more than the higher income groups. Now, it's not just rural urban. Even in urban, you have lower income groups that are feeling the pinch. And clearly, one of the big impacts of inflation has been whether it's food price inflation, fuel price inflation, input prices which are going up. So we find that consumers are trading down on the products they buy. There is the discretionary income which is used for buying buying sort of non-essential products are diverted back to buying essential products.
Over time, as the economy started opening up, I think we are seeing urban areas doing well as far as incomes are concerned. I think and the labor force participation survey also shows that 60% of the jobs in the urban areas are in services. So clearly, I think urban area is benefiting from this. Now, as far as the rural economy is concerned, I think it's relatively worse off compared to urban areas, but they have some drivers. For instance, I think the rural wage growth has been picking up. It was earlier trailing the inflation rate, so it was negative. Now, I think the rural wage growth has become positive, both for agriculture and non-agriculture wages.
The growth in private final consumption expenditure has been on a decline as well. From 20% growth in the first quarter of FY23, it has nosedived to a mere 2.1% in the third quarter. This reflects a slump in demand and perhaps fizzling out of pent-up demand which had fueled the post-pandemic recovery. So, what do experts have to say about the impact of inflation on consumption?
The sense is that there is a revival in the consumption even in lower income groups. I won't say urban rural again because I think even in urban cities we have low income groups. So I think there is a recovery which we are seeing, which hopefully with a lot of the projects, a lot of the large sort of capex project that the government has initiated, a lot of that money should start to percolate downwards into the lower income groups as well. And I think we should start to see some of the K-shaped recovery getting sort of, becoming more and more a U-shaped recovery with consumption reviving in the lower income groups.
As far as the consumption is concerned, what we were seeing earlier is that goods consumption was strong. Now the services consumption is strong. And that pattern, I think, will continue. It's true, inflation eats into the purchasing power of people and hits the poorer categories more. Overall, I would say that the K-shaped recovery will continue. And because the corporate wages are going to go up much faster.
Chief Economic Advisor V. Anantha Nageshwaran had said recently that inflation will fall in the coming months. He supported his argument with decreasing food and international commodity prices. However, so far, the inflation rate has been above RBI's tolerance level. So, how do experts think inflation will turn out to be in FY24?
Well, I think we expect inflation to come down to 5%. I think that is under a very critical assumption that monsoons will be normal. See, the crude prices have already come down and they will filter through to the economy at some point. So the fuel inflation, which was in double digits, will come down. Core inflation is sticky, but with the demand slowing next year, I think core inflation should also come down to about 5.5%. That's our estimates for 23-24. As far as the food is concerned, I think a lot depends on how monsoons play out. Remember that this is going to be an El Nino year and there could be scanty rain.
Experts are divided as to how inflation will pan out. While some hope the K-shaped recovery will turn U-shaped, others fear that the K-shaped recovery will continue. There is a sigh of relief on the hope that the Indian economy is better positioned to deal with negative headwinds than other countries. But how inflation will exactly move going forward into FY24 remains to be seen.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views, and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and LinkedIn.